A sudden uprush dispels the dark. Pernell Arai opens his eyes to find himself in a bright, sterile medical facility. There you are, Mr. Arai. Where am I? It's okay, you're in Orison. Looks like your regen was successful. How are you feeling? Pernell draws a few deep breaths, then wiggles his fingers and toes. A little sore. What happened to me? Afraid I can't help you with that. You suffered a traumatic injury, though. Don't think there'll be any scarring, so you're lucky there. What's the last thing you remember? Pernell's memories come flooding back. He's dancing with Sergei. He's on a beach in Kassal, basking in the glow of Goss's binary stars. He's a kid struggling to steady a gun to shoot cans in an abandoned building on the outskirts of Archibald Station. Your brain activity looks normal at least, the doctor says while navigating screens on her datapad. Sorry, I'm remembering things. It's just a lot at once. All good. I ask because your last imprint was quite a while ago. If you don't imprint frequently, your short-term memory can be a bit hazy. You know that, right, Mr. Arai? Mr. Arai? Pernell shifts his eyes from the window's stunning vista over Orison back to the doctor, then nods knowingly. Sorry, still settling back in. Totally understandable. Well, all your vitals look good, so you're free to leave. Obviously, take a little time for yourself and maybe imprint a bit more frequently. Might make things easier next time. Pernell thanks the doctor, then leaves the hospital in a daze wearing the clothing provided to him. Wind whips across the Cloudview Centre platform, chilling him to the bone through the thin material. Still, he stops to enjoy the sunset spreading vibrant colours across the sky. He even leans over the railing ever so slightly to take in the cloud bank below. A sudden rush of vertigo overcomes him. Pernell takes a quick step back, then wonders if that's how he died. Like a fool, falling off an Orison platform. He sits on a nearby bench and closes his eyes. No recent memories surface. Eventually, Pernell stands and walks across the platform knowing full well that things could be worse. At least he remembers the location of his hab. Back at his green circle hab, Pernell opens a closet to change. For a second, he's shocked to see his favourite helmet missing. Of course, he was wearing it when... He pauses again, hoping something will come back, but nothing does. Instead, he recalls how he quit tailing a target in the back streets of Fujin City to buy the helmet from a pop-up stall. Something about it suited him, and it had served well, keeping him safe. That is, until now. Only later did he discover it was an early and exceedingly rare CC's conversion helmet, one that is immensely valuable to him in many ways, and now potentially gone forever. Pernell pops open his Moby and scrolls through his inventory. His heart sinks when he sees what's missing. It must have been a big op if he took so much stuff. There's enough of his gear still in storage, but he feels so disconnected from this collection of odds and ends that it's like browsing through someone else's closet. He can't remember the last time he wore half this stuff. Shoving the dull ache of loss aside, Pernell grabs his backup undersuit and stuffs his right leg into it, praying it still fits. Circling above the surface, it doesn't take long before Pernell spots the bunker's support structures. He slows the ship and adjusts course to keep his distance, unable to trust his memory enough to know whether or not the spot has turrets. It all looks vaguely familiar, and the more he circles, the more he feels like he's been here. If he had to bet, this is where he died. Pernell found this spot after checking his Moby for his recent job history. His last gig brought him to this bunker, which would explain why he took so much stuff. In the past, he would have assembled one, maybe 2 people for something like this, but Pernell started doing jobs like this alone since coming to Crusader. At first, it was out of necessity since he didn't trust anyone, but as his confidence grew and the credits rolled in thanks to getting to keep 100% of the payout, he soon found himself scrolling his Moby specifically for similar gigs. Plus, if Pernell was being honest, he found the rush of facing down a hive of outlaws all on his lonesome to be incredible. Now, contemplating landing back at the bunker where he died, Pernell wonders about the wisdom of not bringing backup. He's already at a disadvantage wearing his second-hand gear, with some arsehole in the bunker probably getting ready to shoot him with the carefully calibrated weapons they've undoubtedly looted from his body. Slowing the ship's thrusters, he spots a turret and sets his sights on it. He primes a missile and pushes in. To his surprise, the turret doesn't care. He takes his finger off the trigger and buzzes the bunker. When that doesn't prompt a response from the turret either, he loops back and lands without incident, glad it didn't cost him any munitions to set down near the entrance. He climbs out of the ship, quickly double-checks his unfamiliar gear and hustles towards the bunker. The outer doors are already breached and slightly open, showing a sliver of the elevator inside. He unholsters his pistol, a near-pristine Arclight 2, and enters cautiously. A few steps inside and a hail of bullets strikes his ship. Purnell spins to see that the nearby turret is now very active. His ship's shields flare for a moment before they blink out, and he barely has time to avert his eyes as an explosion sends ship debris flying across the landing pad. Job done, the turret returns to rest. For a second, Purnell feels woozy and steadies himself against the door. When it passes, he takes a second to contemplate his next step, activates his Moby, and sends out an emergency beacon. He then collects himself and steps onto the elevator, certain that it will take a while for a ride to arrive, and that he didn't come all this way not to get his helmet. Once inside, Purnell gets déjà vu. He knows a lot of the prefab bunkers around Crusader were built using the same modular design, but this one feels strangely familiar. He creeps in quick and quiet, and then peers around a corner to see a grenade coming his way. Instinctively, Purnell rolls forward and takes cover behind a stack of crates. The blast knocks a few atop him, which he quickly kicks away and starts firing. A figure falls and Purnell rolls through the swirling smoke to a new position. He holsters the pistol, unslings his P4 AR rifle, fires and watches another figure fall. He pushes forward, drawing fire from another concealed position. Purnell weaves behind cover until he's flanking the remaining combatant. He swings his rifle up and focuses on a hazy shadow within the columns of smoke and squeezes the trigger until the figure falls. Purnell takes a moment and lets everything settle. His ears are still ringing from the initial grenade blast, but the bunker is otherwise quiet. He gets up and crosses to the last figure he shot. His heart sinks when he sees what's left of the distinct shape of his helmet, now bullet-ridden and modded to match the gang's colours. Something about seeing those colours makes memories flood Purnell's mind. He looks around the space and it all comes back, including the fact there were 4 of them last time. Purnell hears footsteps behind him, and before he can raise his rifle, everything goes black.
Do you have eyes? I know I do. Do you want precise eye and head tracking that's natively supported in Star Citizen for that deep immersion? And it just so happens that Tobii Eye Tracker 5 has a 20% off sale until the 2nd of January 2023. So go to tobii.gg/BoredGamer or follow the links down below to get your discount.
Ho ho ho, Merry Nordmas! It's Santa! No, Timmy, it's Father Nordmas. I'm legally distinct and spread NordVPN cheer. Here you go, little Tim. Have some discount on your next NordVPN purchase. Just what you wanted. Go to nordvpn.com/BoredGamer.
But Santa, we don't want a VPN.
I told you, Tim, it's Father Nordmas.
Every month we have a ship giveaway. For December, we are giving away the mighty Drake Corsair Explorer with a Star Citizen game package and lifetime insurance. This no-nonsense Explorer can take you and 3 friends to the limits of adventure around the verse, and although more focused on exploration and expedition, it is a great multi-role mission runner too. Comment on any of my videos during December to be in for a chance of winning that. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. Please don't forget to like and especially subscribe to the videos, leave comments, and if you feel so inclined, use the join button under my videos and give a little bit each month to help the channel. It really, really does help. Or you can even become a Patreon or donate. Check out all the links below. Thanks very much for watching. Have a great time in the verse.